Hello yarn lovers, today I'm going to show you how to crochet this super cute little soap saver, and it completes the Prairie Spa set, and you can find the washcloth and scrunchies in my previous videos. So we're starting with our main colour and we're going to chain 12. So we're going to flip our chain over and we're going to be working into the back bumps. And I'm going to put a single crochet in the second chain. So here's the first little back bump here, and here's the second. So this is our second chain from the hook. I'm going to put a single crochet in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Now once we get to the end of our chain, we're going to continue working across the underside of our foundation edge. So this will effectively mean we're working in the round. So I'm just coming up to the last chain. Now in this last chain we need to put some extra stitches to get around the corner, so we're going to put 3 single crochet into this last stitch. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So now we're going to start working into the stitches on the bottom of the foundation chain, and we're going to put a single crochet in each one. Now because we've worked into the back bumps, this does tend to make the bottom of the chain a little bit tight, but this is going to give us a really neat edge at the bottom of our soap saver. So you might need to wiggle your hook a bit to get into the stitches. So we're just working a single crochet in each stitch all the way across the bottom. So I've worked all the way across and we're back to, this is our first stitch that we worked into here now. So I'm going to put 2 more single crochet into that first stitch. Oops. And we're then going to join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. So that's our first round completed. Now for most of this project we're going to be turning after every round. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to start by working into this stitch here. This is our slip stitch. So because we've turned our work, that kind of becomes the first stitch. But for our half double crochets, we're going to work into this next stitch first. So we're going to put 2 half double crochet into this next stitch. We're going to skip the following stitch and into the next stitch 2 half double crochet. And we're just going to repeat this around. So skip 1, 2 half double crochet into the next stitch, skip 1, 2 half double crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to continue with our stitch pattern around this corner. So skip 1 in the following stitch, 2 half double crochet, and you should find as you're going around the corner it's going to start to curl up to make that the shape for our pouch. So you go ahead and repeat this stitch pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to finish up this round. So we're just going to join with a slip stitch to this first stitch, and if you want to you can use the reverse slip stitch join. You just go in from the back and it can create a slightly neater join. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, ready for round 3. Now in order to keep our little groups, our little clusters of stitches stacked one on top of each other, When I first started making this pattern, I kept finding that my stitches were becoming unaligned. So I did find that I needed to work into this very first stitch, which is the slip stitch, which can be a bit tight. So as long as you don't join too tightly, you should be able to get your hook in. So we're going to put our first single crochet into that stitch, and then go ahead and put a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Just show you on this finished one. As you can see, this is the back of our half double crochet stitches, and you can see that they're stacked on top of each other. And if you don't put that first stitch into that slip stitch, you end up with them being staggered every row. So we're just going to go ahead and put single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and then I'm going to join with a slip stitch to our first stitch to finish off the round, and then we'll chain one and turn. And so again, we're working on the wrong side again. So for this round, we're going to skip the slip stitch, and in this next stitch, we're going to put 2 half double crochet. Skip the next stitch, in the following stitch, 2 half double crochet, and we're just going to repeat this around. And once you get to the end of the round, again, we're just going to join with a slip stitch to that first stitch, and then chain one and turn, and we're ready for our single crochet round again. And again, we're going to start by working into that slip stitch. Keeping that as our first stitch will keep our stitches nicely stacked. You can see that the groups are stacked one on top of each other. So you go ahead and put a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And again, we're just going to finish up the round by joining to that first stitch with a slip stitch. And so those last 2 rounds, we're just going to repeat those over and over again until your soap saver is just about big enough to fit in a bar of soap. And then we're going to add a little row of eyelets so that we can have our ties through there. So you go ahead and do that. Keep going until it's big enough for your soap or whatever it is you want to put in there. You could put gift cards and all sorts of things in here. So make sure you end on a single crochet round, and then we'll be ready to work our eyelets. So I've got a total of 11 rows starting from our first round, a total of 11 rounds. We've ended on this single crochet round, and I'm going to chain one and turn. And we're now ready to start working our eyelets. So we're working from the wrong side. So we're going to start by working into this slip stitch. I'm going to put a half double crochet in there. Going to chain one, we're going to skip the next stitch and then put a half double crochet in the following stitch. And we're going to repeat this around. So chain one, skip one, then half double crochet in the next stitch. Chain one, skip one, half double crochet in the next stitch. So you just go ahead and repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to start the next round. So we're going to finish off the round by joining with a slip stitch to that first stitch, chain one and then turn, and we're ready to start our next round. So we're going to put a single crochet into each stitch and each chain space around. So I'm going to start by putting a single crochet into that first chain space, then a single crochet into this next stitch, then a single crochet into the chain space, and then a single crochet into the next stitch. So you're just going to repeat this all the way around. And just like we're finishing all the rounds, we're just going to join with the slip stitch to that first stitch, and then chain 1 and turn. And we're back to our prairie stitch pattern, so we're going to put a half double crochet in this next stitch, followed by another half double crochet. Then we're going to skip 1 and then 2 half double crochet into the next stitch, skip 1, 2 half double crochet into the next stitch. So you should be very familiar with the pattern by now. So you go ahead and finish up this round, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to start the next round. And at the end of the round, we're going to join with a slip stitch to our first stitch, chain 1 and turn. And for this round, we're simply going to put a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Once we get to the end of the round, we'll join with a slip stitch. So at the end of the round, we're going to join with a slip stitch to our first stitch, and then we're going to fasten off our main colour. We're going to add the edging with our contrast colour. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. So I'm just going to join with a single crochet where we finished off that last round, chain 2, and then put another single crochet into that same stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch, and in the following stitch, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and we're just going to repeat this around. So skip 1, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, single crochet in the same stitch, skip 1, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into that next stitch. So you go ahead and repeat that all the way around. So I've worked all the way around. We want to join with a slip stitch to this first stitch, but I'm going to do it so that I can fasten off on the inside so it's a bit neater. So I'm just going to take my hook out, turn my work around. I'm going to put my hook into that first single crochet stitch. Just take this yarn to the back, put my hook back on, and then draw that through, and then I can fasten off on the inside. So all you need to do now is fasten off and weave in those ends, and then next I'll show you how to make the I-cord for our tie. Now to make our crochet I-cord tie, you want to go ahead and measure a tail of around 80 inches. So my measuring tape goes up to 60, so I'm just going to take this tail, measure across, and then I want to add another 20. So about here. So this is where I'm going to put my slip knot on my hook. So I've got my tail end coming off this way, and then got my working yarn here. So you want to be holding your working yarn and then your tail is underneath. So the way you make an I-cord is we take the tail, we wrap it over the hook from front to back. We then yarn over with our working yarn and pull that through. We then wrap again over our hook, yarn over with our working yarn and pull that through both of those loops. This is a very easy way to make an I-cord. And you're just going to repeat this over and over again until your I-cord is as long as you need it to be. So to make long ties like these, I made my I-cords around about 30 inches. So once your I-cord is long enough, you can just fasten off. You just tie the two ends together. And trim that off. All that's left to do then is pop in your soap. And then you can weave your eye in and out. With your eyelets. You can tie a little knot at the end of your eye cord. If you've got some beads that will fit, you could add some little beads in here that would look really nice. I didn't have any with a large enough aperture, so I've just gone with a little knot at the end of each one. And then you can just tie a little bow. And your little soap savers are ready for gifting. They look so cute. If you would like to make the other patterns in the spa set, then watch this video next. And if you enjoyed this video, then why not subscribe to our mailing list? You will stay up to date with all our new patterns and tutorials, along with other fun stuff like blog hops, freebies and discounts. Click the link at the end of the video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.